What's up, cryptopreneurs? I hope all is well for you today in the cryptoverse. This is the hourly chart of Bitcoin. I will get into price analysis here pretty quick, but I want to show you pattern recognition. So I just want to show you what I've been tracking here lately, and it's really interesting. When things get interesting, I start putting out videos. So back here through here, we had this descending or this ascending wedge type. It's kind of a megaphone, but it's got an ascension to it. You see here, um, it broke up, out, boom, came close to its target, formed this red channel, as you can see, broke down out of the red channel. Now I'm telling you this just to put in some backstory here. And it comes back down and see it's bouncing off the top of the original ascending broadening wedge. This is an ascending broadening wedge. It's kind of a megaphone. It's going to get interesting here in a second. Okay, comes down out of the red channel, bouncing off the top of the original broadening wedge, rejecting off the red channel, back down. See how this is working? Back down, and I've got a couple different trend lines in here, but this one here, the original one, the resistance line, it's really been bouncing off that a lot. We just had another bounce just a couple hours ago, right here. And let's see, this started April 25th, and so it's just a little over a month now. So this is a long-term pattern. I was going to make this video a couple days ago, but there's no rush to it. It's going to get real interesting here. And so I'd been tracking this, right? That's how I make my charts. Originally I had the broadening wedge, and then I noticed this trend line here. There's two support lines, and now we got some resistant ones going down. Now there was a symmetrical triangle here that broke up. There's another symmetrical triangle type deal here that broke up, and the past 109,000 all-time high that was broken recently has recently been resistance clearly here, and so there's a lot of things going on here. But I just want to show you, before I start yammering some more, I want to show you I've been putting this chart together, and then eventually I see something else, and I just want to show you what I saw here recently. So let's turn the magnet off. There's this guy here. I'm gonna mark it in yellow. There's all these little ascending, broadening wedges. You can call them megaphones. It's like an ascending megaphone pattern. There could be two here. You could put one here. You could also put one right about here. See how that's working? But for the time being, I'm just going to leave that like that. Now, the price could easily come back down here. Oh, let's not get into that yet. But I just want to show you. That's one, right? We had the original one back here. This one here. The original one here. This is what's cool. So this is why I'm making this video. We had the original one here, and so I got to looking at it, and I was like, "Oh, wait a second. What happens if we extend this one down here? Oops. If we extend this one down here like so, does that match up? Oh, yes, it does. It matches up perfectly. But look at that." So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's turn this guy back to blue. Okay, so we had the original ascending broadening wedge, and then we had this red channel, but that formed this second broadening wedge, ascending broadening wedge. But look at what both of them have created. Let's take this guy out of here. Well, let's turn him blue for your mind's eye. And now look at what we've got. We've got one big giant megaphone broadening ascending wedge type guy. Look at that. The two little broadening wedges formed a big one. So now let's get into price analysis based off of this observation. And there's nothing special I'm doing here. This is just experience looking at this for a long time. And of course, I originally learned off watching channels like Crypto Zombie and Crypto Face and Jason Casper and some other ones. Lots of them out there that just where I learned the fundamental basic. We've got this Fibonacci resistance line up here at 114,000. I would watch that to be resistance if it comes up. Now, if it pumps up, get this out of the way. If it pumps up, I would watch for 114. I was kind of expecting it back here maybe to do it. It did not. If we set an all-time new high, I would watch for 114,349 to be a resistance area, that ballpark. Or maybe it does puts up a wick, and let's extend this guy here. So this video got longer than I wanted, but I just wanted to show you because I like if there's new people out there, I like teaching. That I can really help you out a lot, save you a lot of time. But say it does come up here, maybe there's a wick, and I would watch this yellow line up here. Of course, this is resistance. If you see a big pump happens, I'd watch the purple line at 114, and then the yellow resistance is around 117 in the next couple of days, and then for the end of the first week of June, that's 120,000 up there. So I still have my 139,000. This purple line here, there's actually a Fibonacci line there now. I've been saying for years and years that this cycle will probably top out at 139,000. Okay, bud. I got a cat hollering at me. That's enough, dude. I'm making a video. So just some good solid price analysis. Of course, the 109,000, just say 110,000, the previous all-time high back to the left that was recently broken. That's going to be a resistance area. So this is resistance, then here's resistance. And actually, you could extend this whole red channel up. This is good fundamental analysis. That whole red channel could be extended up. So, of course, actually the bottom of that red channel would be a resistance to watch if it were to go up there. I don't know for sure. Now, so coming down, we recently just had a bounce off of the second support line for that smaller broadening wedge megaphone type pattern. So obviously that's a support to watch, and then another support to watch would be this one here. See the second support line on the bottom of that broadening wedge. And then what happens if it were to break down through there? Obviously, we'd be looking at the bottom of the wedge. Now this could happen, right? This is a giant long-term pattern that's over a month old at this point, and this pattern will be here for a long time to come, right? I don't think it's gonna go above 120,000 in the next couple of weeks, and then you're talking about 125,000 in the middle of June. So I think that this pattern is going to be in play for a long, long time, and there'll be more interesting things to see soon when it makes its move. Now, if it comes down here, this bottom yellow support line, in the next week or so, is at about 97,000. In a couple of weeks, it's 98,000, 99,000, and then here's 100,000 here. So watch for that. A little under 100,000. You'll probably hear people saying, "Oh, it's the 100,000 support." Well, it could be. It is kind of, but I would go more with this yellow support line here. And then if it does break down, we've got the Fibonacci support at 94,000. And I think that's Fibonacci support. I don't know why I have another one at 89. That's kind of quick. I think I was marking if it broke down out, you're talking about 117. The target would be about $20,000. Whether it's a break up. Now this could be the pattern that breaks up, right? Say it breaks up from 120, with a $20,000 target. Boom, there it is right there. That's the 139,000. So this is a giant pattern, and say it broke down from 97. You're looking at about $77,000 target down here, which matches up with some previous support back to the left. See how that's working? And there's that Fibonacci line at 73,000. I think I've got something else marked here in purple. I don't want to go back and look right now, but those two are too close together to be Fibonacci's. Both of them. I think the one at 94. I don't know. Anyways, it's not that important. The important part, why I turned this on, is this giant megaphone pattern. Let's look at it on the daily chart. This is the daily chart of that pattern I just drew in on the hourly chart. I haven't actually looked at this in a long time. After you have a lot of experience, you can just see the daily chart on the hourly chart. Of course, every 24 hourly candles is a day. But there it is on the daily chart. That's interesting, huh? That's the daily chart. This is a giant macro type pattern that could be in play for months and months. This could be in play through the summer, right? This could be in play to the end of the year. Who knows? It's just that big, and the longer it goes, the bigger the pattern, right? The bigger the target. So you're talking about, if this were to go, say, July 1st, it's 129 to. That's about a $28,000 target. When we hit July, this pattern will have about a $28,000 target. Now, targets don't have to be hit, and they most of the time aren't, but it's a good perspective. This is a massive pattern that's forming, and so far, it's spending most of its time in the top half of it. See, earlier it was in the bottom half of it, and it broke up. Now it's in the top half of it. I do kind of like the breakdown. I don't know how big it'll be, but it's just hard telling. It's news dependent. And one thing I want to say is, I'll just save that for another video. This is too long already. This blue trend line here is kind of in the middle of the big pattern. It's not the middle, but it's kind of interesting spot that it's in. So watch for a bounce at around 105 in the next week or two. Would be a good spot to bounce. And then, of course, if it does come down here, you're talking about, we got this white horizontal line that's going to kind of form a triangle potentially that will either break up or break down. So that would be an interesting thing. You can kind of see these patterns starting to come before they happen once you sit here and get lots of experience. And I hope someone out there learns something. And I'm going to end the video here. They say that when the price stays in the top half or bottom half of a pattern, it's more likely to go the way of that. But obviously it was in the bottom half here and it actually went up. Now it's in the top half here, and I think it's coming down a little, but I could be wrong. That's just a personal opinion. I'm hedge mode. I'm long and short. For transparency, I'm long and I'm short. I'm intentionally getting stuck in long positions along with my short positions. I'm intentionally getting stuck in both a short and a long. And of course, the idea there is that you're going to be half right every time. So I'll leave it at that. Stay small, lots of dry power to adjust. I'm short and I'm long. Have a good night, day, morning, whatever, afternoon, later.